And if we do well with this, we will be able to stop the one world order agendas, not by fighting, by shifting the frequency of the planet out of their range. And that may sound like something far out, but if you didn't understand scalar mechanics, which I'm going to get into now, you start to realize we're all walking around in a unified field of energy. And everything inside of us is going to affect the things outside of us and vice versa. Each person holds a tremendous amount of power to affect the outcome of the dramas in the next number of years, because you are a living energy field placed within a larger living energy field called the Earth body. If we can begin to realize that we are our bodies, our minds, our consciousness, our patterns of frequency, literal energy that can affect other energy, we start to get a sense of the real power that we have to make change. So by teaching people how to become empowered within themselves, that's how you save the world. The world saves itself one person at a time. It's not going to be done through revolutions and through, confronting the governments about, you're hiding things, you're hiding things. This has been going on for thousands of years. It started back with the Church of Rome, when they started to distort documents. The Council of Nicaea, 25 AD, it took out 90% of the good books that were supposed to be part of the original biblical texts. When they started burning people like the Cathars, because they were teaching about the two Christ lineages and the two gray lines. If you look at the history that we have grown up as the foundations of our culture, it is not what you learn in the history books. They downplay what you learn in the history books. They make it generic and sugar-coated. But when you see what has been going on here, as far as the repression of information from the general populations, this has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. And that's why we're at the point where we are right now. So when we become aware, first you'll find, as the things I start to talk to you about, they'll start to sink in a little bit. And the first thing you might find, what I found when I saw the agendas they were running first was, I don't want to deal with this. I went into denial on it first. Like, okay, I know it's true, obviously. Can I do something else? Can I look someplace else? I didn't want to deal with it because it was so overwhelming at first. Then I moved through that. And I moved through it with just bringing more of my own spiritual consciousness and my own spiritual power. And then I went into being really ticked off. Not for me, but for the whole race. How dare they? And I remember some incarnations where I was part of ascension schools and the whole bit, where we were trying to bring back the trainings that set people free. And watching what has happened to those trainings, and watching how hard we had tried, different groups of us in different time periods, incarnating in to bring the knowledge in to help people set themselves free, and then watching it get, wiped out completely. There was an anger attached there for a while, and you have to let that go too after a while. So if you find yourself moving through these things as you start to deal with the information that I'm presenting, that's okay. Let it move through. If you try to repress it, pretend you're not angry about it or not scared about it at first, then you're just repressing it and it makes it stronger, let it come out. Talk to yourself about it if there's nobody else you can talk to, because it's hard to go home and talk to your spouse if they weren't here to deal with this with you. A lot of times people have spouses or friends or family that are just not ET at all. They don't want anything to do with this stuff. That's crazy, wacky stuff. It's a fringe culture thing. They don't want to deal with it. You have to realize that you're not going to get a lot of comfort talking to them. You can still love them, and they can still love you, but they have their boundaries. And as long as you realize that, you'll kind of seek people who do have the awareness you have. Talk with them. And most of all, learn to talk with your own higher parts, because that's where the answers will come from, your own higher parts of identity.